Hello, you are most welcome. Yeah, it's Henry the computer guy, and in this video, we are going to be working out UNEB subsidiary ICT 2013, specifically paper 2 of a word processor. And remember, in our previous video, we already worked out paper 3. So without wasting any time, let's dive into the real practice and see how we can do this. So what we are going to do first of all is to create a folder onto our desktop. Then afterwards, we save our file into that folder. So how are we going to do that? We are going to be locating any free space onto our desktop. Then right click onto our mouse, come to the option that says new, then select the option that says folder. And having clicked onto folder, we have to give that folder a name. For example, we are going to be calling it UNEB 2013 paper 2 because it is the question that we are going to be attempting. So let's give it a name. So we call it UNEB 20. We call it UNEB 2013 paper 2, and that is the folder that we are going to be working with. So let's look at the question and see what we are going to be following. So down here, I've already created the question that we are going to be following, and it is telling us that using a word processor of your choice, produce the document below as it appears. And they are giving us 6 marks for this. So we are going to be typing the whole of this information. Remember, by this time, we had no support files, so we are going to be typing the whole of this information. So what we are going to be doing is to type this information, then save our document as our name and personal number. So let's do that one first by creating our document. So we minimize this one, then come back to our folder. We are going to be opening it by right clicking onto it, then come to the option that says open. And having opened it, we are going to be creating our file inside this folder. By again right clicking onto your mouse, come to the option that says new, but now instead of picking folder, we are picking Microsoft Word document. So after clicking on it, we have to also give it a name. They told us to save it as our name and personal number. So I'm going to give it Henry. Let's say 0701. So we are going to be saving it as Henry 0701. So we are already saving our document into our folder. That is it. So we are now going to be attempting the question by typing the whole information into this file that we have created. So let's double click and open it. Having double clicked on it, it is going to open just like that. So we are going to be typing the whole of this information. Then afterwards, we come and make the changes. So let's go back to our document. We click on it and we can as well make it bigger by zooming it out. Then we are going to be typing our information. And remember, the first sentence is saying ICT as a tool for teaching and learning. So that's what we are going to be writing. So we want to type ICT as a tool for teaching and learning. But when you look onto our question here, they are telling us that this is something we are looking at this thing as bold, and it is also underlined, and it is even in the center. So we come and put that one. So you come and highlight this heading that you have written. Then we can put it in the center first of all by clicking onto this option, or by saying or clicking onto the keyboard short command that says Ctrl+E for it to be in the center. After doing that, we are going to be underlining it by clicking onto this option that says U, or we press Ctrl+IU for it to be underlined. And we are also going to be making it bold, which is a Ctrl+B. We can as well be able to increase in the size. For example, we give it as let's say 12, and we can also change the style, because when you look at this information here, I think this is going to be a Times New Roman, so we can as well come and try it out. So we come and change the style also to Times New Roman, and I think this is what we are having for the first title or sentence that we have. So now we have to go down to the next line and start typing the information the way it appears by pressing enter onto our keyboard. But remember, this information is aligned onto the left. We have to align this information also to our left hand side. So let's come back to our document and click onto the left alignment. Then we remove this bold, the underline, and we begin typing our information. So let's read through this information. It is telling us that the term ICT stands for Information and Communication Technology. The term ICT, the term ICT stands for Information and Communication Technology. Stands for Information and Communication Technology. So what we are going to be doing here, we are going to be pausing our video and actually type this information from here up to the word people. Then we'll be able to come back and modify this information the way it appears here. So what we are going to be doing is to come back to our document. We pause the video, then we type this information the way it appears, then we come back and modify or make the changes to our document. So having typed our information, this is exactly what we have come up with, and I think it is exactly similar to our question that we are having, the way you're seeing it here. So when we come down here, how did we make this T as like this? We made it as a drop cap. For example, we highlighted the first letter, which was here. We selected the first letter, then we came to the option that says insert, and came to the option that says drop cap. Then we went to the drop cap options and selected the option that says dropped. Then we selected the number of lines that it is supposed to be taking. Remember, in our question, it is taking 1, 2, 3, 4 lines. So that's why we chose 4 lines here. And there's no distance from the text. So that is exactly what we did to come up with this letter T. So now what we are going to be doing is to make the changes as the question tells us to do. So let's come back to our question. Part B is actually telling us that we have to copy the document to another page. So what we are going to do is to copy that copy that we have on the first page to page 2. So how are we going to do that? We are going to be first of all selecting the information we are having, the whole of it. Then come to our home tab, then come and click on the option that says copy. And having copied that information, we have to insert a blank page where we are going to be pasting our information. By clicking below our work, for example, I can press enter to go on the next line. Then afterwards, I will come and say insert. Then I will come and click on the option that says blank page. And having clicked the blank page, we are now having 2 pages. The first page that is having the content and the one that we are going to be using to paste our information. Let me zoom it in such that we can be able to see all the pages at the same time. So having put our blank page, we are going to click here, then come to the option that says home, then click on the option that says paste. So these are now 2 duplicate copies of the document. So this was our original and this is our copy that we have just made. So part B is now done. Let's come back to our part C, and they're telling us that double space the text in the document. So we come back to our work and we highlight our text that we have pasted on page 2, then we put double spacing. So having highlighted it, we are going to come to the option that says line spacing, and we come and select the option that says 2. If at all you're not going to use this option, you can come and select line spacing options, then come under the line spacing and choose the double line spacing. It can work in the same way. So after that, we are going to be selecting the option that says OK, and our document has been double spaced. So let's come back to another question. And another question is telling us that we have to italicize and bold the word ICT throughout the document. Let's come back to our work and do that. So first of all, we are going to be highlighting this information because it's where we are going to be making the change. And we look for that word that is called ICT wherever it is, then we make it bold and italic. So how are we going to do that? We are going to be coming to the option that says home or the tab that says home. Then we come to this section where we have editing. We can pick either find or replace. We can use any of those options. And when we click onto this option, we can click on the option that says find. And what are we going to be finding? We are going to be finding the word ICT. So we type that word ICT. Then after typing it, we can even first of all look through our document where it is going to be by highlighting it wherever it is in the document, and it is here. So we have it as 1, 2, 3, and 4. Remember, our question is telling us to make it bold and italic at the same time. Assuming that you had 100 pages and you had one word that you wanted to change from there, you can always search for it, then you can change it at the same time. So what we are going to be doing, we come to this option that says find in. And when we click on the drop down arrow, you're going to be using the current selection. If you wanted to look for it from the entire document, even this copy that we had in the beginning, we'll come and say main document. So it will search for that word from wherever it is in the entire document. But we are going to be using that current selection onto our page 2 that we have pasted. So I'm going to come and click on the option that says current selection. And having selected it, it is going to select all those words in our document. Then we can come and make the changes. For example, they told us to make it italic and bold. So there are two here. So we are going to come and select the bold, and again we come and select the option that says italic. So that is it. We can put that. So they are now bold and italic. So having done that, we can now close this option. I think that one is also done. Let's come back to another question. And they're now telling us that we are going to be using the Times New Roman font face for this, and the font size 12 for the entire document. We are going to come back to our document, then we can select it. Having selected it, we are going to be using Times New Roman, and we give it 12 as the size. So we come and type 12 there, then press enter. And having pressed enter, this is how our changes have been made to our document. So let's come back to another question. So they are telling us that we are going to be inserting our name and personal number as the footer and header respectively. Then afterwards, we have to center align them. So we are going to come to the footer and put the name, then personal number as the header. Let's come back to our document. And having come back to our document, we are going to be coming to the header section or the footer section. We can click in any of the two. Remember, they told us that the header has to be our personal number. So I'm going to be using my telephone number. For example, 0701334170. But for your case as a candidate, you have to use your registration number as your personal number. Then we come to the footer down here and put also the name. And I'm going to be using Henry, the computer guy. Henry, the computer guy. So that is it, and I think it is also done. But we are going to be putting it under the center. We come back here, we come to the option that says home, then we come and put it in the center, or we use Ctrl+E. Then we come back down here also and put this one in the center by selecting the center alignment. So that one is also done. So we come to the option that says design and close the header and the footer. So that is what we have. But remember, the header and the footer will be indicated on all the pages that you're having. So we have it here, we have it here. Then on the top, we also have it here, and we have it here. Let's look at another question and what it is saying. So down here, they are telling us that we are going to be using Mailmerge feature to post the document above to the recipients below. So that means that we are going to be working with mail merging. And mail merging will help us to, let's say, send letters to different addresses of the people that we have. Let's come back to our document. And having come back to our document, we have to first of all look at the question, what it is saying. These are the names, we have the addresses, and we also have the country. So we are going to be indicating this information into our document that we have, and we are going to be sending it. So I'll come back to my work, and for example, I'm going to be indicating that information down here. I can say, for example, we are going to be in need of a name. We put them in capital letter. We'll need a name, press enter. We'll need the address, and pressing enter, we'll also need the country. So those are the three items that we are going to be using when we are sending our letter or using Mailmerge. So having done that, we are going to come to the option that says mailings. And having selected the mailings, we are going to be coming to the step-by-step mail merge. Having selected that one, we are going to be using the step-by-step mail merge. So we click on it here, and having selected it, it is going to ask us to select the document that we are going to be using. This is the one that we are going to be using, so we are going to be selecting that later. We say next, start the document. Having selected that, we are also going to be selecting the starting document. Of course, this is the document that we are going to be using. As we have it already, this is the document that we are going to be using for our Mailmerge. So down here, we have some options. For example, they are telling us to use the current document, and it is the one that we are having here. It's the one we are going to be using. If at all you don't have it here, you can as well say start from a template or start from an existing document. Then you can always be able to select that document from your computer. But for our case, we are going to be using this same document. So this is the current document. So we come back down here and say select the recipient. Remember, we want to get the people we are going to be sending these letters to. So we have to select the recipients. And we have some options here whereby we have use an existing list, select from Outlook contact, and we can also type the list. Our case, we have the list onto our question here. So we are going to be typing the list. I'm going to be coming down here and select the option that says type new list. And having typed or having selected that type new list, we are going to be creating our new list of the people we are going to be sending the letter. So I'm going to be selecting the option that says create. And having selected that option, you're looking at this information that we have some information here. For example, we have the title, first name, last name, we have the company name, but remember, we don't have this information into our document. We only have the name, the address, and the country. So that means that we are going to be customizing this information the way we feel we want. So now what we are going to be doing is to remove this information and put exactly what we want. By deleting this information, we will come down here to the option that says customize columns. And having clicked there, we want to remove all this information and we put the one we feel that we want. For example, the name, the address, and the country. I'm going to delete this information by coming to the option that says delete. Then you say yes. I'm going to delete this information, the whole of it, delete, such that we remain with nothing. We are deleting this information, the whole of it, such that we can customize it to what we exactly want. We delete, we select the field, then you delete. You select the field, you delete. You select the field, you delete. You select the field, then you delete. Now it is empty. We have to customize it to what exactly we have in our question. For example, name. We are going to be clicking onto the option that says add. And having added this, we are going to write the name. Then we come and say, okay, so name has been given to us here. We add another one, which is going to be the address. Then we come and say, okay. We also add the last one, which is the country. And having added that, we are going to be clicking on the option that says OK. So after that, we are going to be clicking on the option that says OK. Then we can be able to add the information that we want. Remember, we have two people. For example, when we'll come back to our question here, we are going to be putting Miss Akilo Grace, then PO box as the address, this one, then the country as this. So that is what we are exactly going to be putting into our list. So we can enlarge this one a little bit if you feel that it is very small and including the information you want. So I'm going to come here and type Miss Akilo Grace. Then the address is a PO box, PO box, PO box 23, Kampala. Then we come to the country, and that is Uganda. Then we want another option where we can write another person. So you just come to new entry. And having clicked on new entry, we are going to write the second person. That was Mr. Asimwe. Mr. Asimwe Andrew. Mr. Asimwe Andrew. Then we have the PO box, PO, then box, PO box. We have it as 19, Nairobi. PO box 19 Nairobi. Then we have this one as Kenya, Kenya. So this is the list of the people we are going to be sending the letter. So we come and click on the option that says OK. And they are telling us that we can also save this list. We are going to be saving it into our folder that we created on the desktop. So I'll come and select the desktop, then come and look for UNEB 2013 paper 2, and it is here. So I'll select it and click on the option that says open. Then I'll have to give it a name. Let's say list of the people I'm going to be sending the letter. So I'm just going to call it a list of people. So I'll come and say save. And having clicked save, this is the list of the members that we are going to be saving. You can always do some multiple things here, for example, by sorting this information, filtering it, duplicating, find the recipient, and even validating the addresses. So we can now click on the option that says OK to continue. And having done that, we already have our list. So down here, we are going to be writing our letter now. So we click on the option that says write your letter. And having clicked on it, it is going to give you this other information, which is, for example, the address block, the greeting, and other options. But remember, we are going to be removing these options that we had put to replace it with the information we have written into our table by coming into our document and grabbing this information. So I'm going to wrap the name, then I will come and select the name from the list here. I will come to more options, I pick the name. Why am I picking the name? It is going to be getting this information from the list of the addresses that I've made and put it in under my document and put it under my document. So I'm going to come and say insert. So it will insert the name there. Then I close this, I will come and grab address again. And having grabbed the address, I will come and look for either the address block, or I can use also more options. I can look for any address block. For example, I want it to be like this. I want it to be like this. I want it to be like this. It will depend exactly on how you want that address to appear. Let me make it like this. I'll come and say, okay. Then I'll come and also add the country. I'll wrap this one and add the country from more items. So I'll click on it, then I'll come and say insert. So we can close this one. So this is exactly what we have put, and they are going to be getting the information from our database or from the list of the addresses that we created. You're going to come down here and click on the option that says preview your letters. You're going to be looking at how the letters will look like. So you come and click on it. This is how our information will be. So this letter is going to be sent to Miss Akilo Grace. This is the address. Then we have this one. So you can as well move through the list. Another person is Asimwe, and this is the address block that we chose from our list. So that is it exactly that we have. If you wanted to make some modifications, you can always make the modification. By coming into, for example, you wanted to edit the recipients, you can as well come and edit the recipients list. But for our case, we are not going to be editing anything. So we are going to be coming down here to complete the merge. And having clicked complete merge, we can either decide to print them or even edit individual letters. Remember, we don't edit the master from here. We just come and edit individual letters. If at all we wanted to make any change on any of the letters. So let's click onto that option. And having clicked on that option, we are going to be selecting all the letters. Yes, I'll click OK. And having done that, this is what they have given us. And when you look at this information, they are giving us this information as our letter. So this is we are having 4 pages. Remember, we are having this is the document we are having. Then the address has been indicated onto our letter. Let's zoom in and make it bigger so that we can see the letters. So this is how it will happen for Miss Akilo Grace, and this is how it will happen for Mr. Asime. These are the letters that we can be able to print or be able to send to our clients that we had in the list. We can zoom in again and see all the letters. We can look at the letters just here if at all we feel we want. So let's come back to our question and see what it is telling us. And after that choosing of the mail margin, they are telling us that we have to print all our letters. So we come back to our document and look at how we are going to be doing this. So these are now the letters. We can come and say file, then come to the option that says print. Then you can as well be able to print all the letters that you feel you want. The copies that you want, you choose the type of the printer. They say how many pages that you want on a certain sheet. They want to print the current page or any range of the pages that you wanted to print. So that means that you'll always be printing what exactly you see. It's what will be coming out of your printer. So that is how you can print those letters. And mind you, we have to also save these letters into our folder by coming onto the option that says file, then click on the option that says save, and it will ask us where do you want to save these letters. Remember, we created our folder onto the desktop, so I'm going to be selecting the desktop. Then I'll come to the option that says, or the folder that says UNEB 2013 paper 2. Then I'll come and put a name that I feel I want to use for those letters. And I'm going to be calling them letters. Let me call them letters. After that, I'll come and select the folder that I want to use and click on it, then or open it. And having opened it, remember we already created our first file in there, so it is also there. So we can now click and say save. So we have been able to save our letters into our folder. So you can always be able to print them or even email them whenever you feel you want. So let's close this document and see what is in our folder because we are already done with our question. So let's close it. And when you close this and you also minimize the question, you're going to find out that we have our master. We also have to click on the save of our master. We can click on save and it is going to be saved also. So we can also close this and come back to our folder. You're seeing that we have 3 items now. We have the list of the candidates or the people that we are going to be sending the letter. Then we have the letters that we have made and we have our master document. So that is how we can use the mail merging feature to send or email letters to the different people that we want. So it's been Henry the Computer Guy. I thank you for being such a good audience. Hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye. I sign out.